Hey, Catboy, how's it going? Oh, you know what? I just realized I am missing something. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. The audio will be sorely fucked up. Okay. Alright. Change this setting real quick. Okay. Hopefully the audio is better now. Not that anyone had complained yet, but as you can see, I am not in my usual place today. I am in my office using the webcam for tonight's stream. Unfortunately, the table was not delivered on Sunday as expected, and I had already taken down everything to make room for it. So, no big deal. It happens. It was a good reason, at least, that it wasn't delivered. So, but long story short, for today, hopefully today only, because they're going to try to get me the table tomorrow, I will be here in the office using the webcam instead of in the studio. But that's the gist of it. So, thanks for tuning in, Catboy. It was good to see you. How are you doing today? Seems to be alright. Doing alright? Yeah, same here. It's been kind of an up and down Monday. Some good parts and some not so good parts, but overall an alright day. So definitely not a bad day though. Oh shit! I got a little critter that made his way in there. Oh well. Let's see. Let me pull up the OneNote real quick. So, as you know, Catboy, we are working on diseases and curses today. I am obviously, as always, open to ideas and suggestions. We'll start building this out, and then this will be our deep dive topic on Saturday when we have the giveaway stream. In between that, I'm going to continue plugging away on some of my other notes. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know, and I'll plug those in between making some adjustments to my OneNote to get this stuff all up to date. Did you work today? Hopefully we have less technical issues this Saturday. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great because that was it was a nightmare the real bitch about it is I feel like it was a overall pretty good stream once we weren't dealing with those technical issues, which is a little unfortunate. We probably could have got a bit more done if I didn't have, like 30 minutes of just being unable to do anything. And I still have no idea what caused half of those issues in the first place. They just kind of resolved on their own after I restarted my computer. What am I looking for? That's correct. Hold on, let me put this down. What's going on, Angry Meatball? I think I'm gonna abstain from submerging my computer in liquid nitrogen. I don't think that's gonna be the most helpful solution. It'll definitely fix some problems, but I don't think that's gonna. It's probably gonna cause some problems, is what it's gonna do. How are you doing today, Meatball? Also glad to hear that you're off tomorrow, Cowboy. I hope you enjoy your day off. Getting along. That's good to hear. Sense that is. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. This week's topic is diseases and curses. What am I looking for? Streams, and then there we go. That's what we're going to be working on today. So, during any lulls or downtime, I'm just going to be trying to work on getting all of my existing D&D notes into OneNote to keep it organized. So just feel free to throw out any ideas or suggestions, or just, in general, talk to me. It's the best part of the stream, is just talking to you guys. So I really hope the table shows up tomorrow. Ludadite flu, I do not believe he did. Yeah, because I don't think we've really touched on diseases or curses much outside of like weapons that were cursed or magic items that were cursed. At least not up until this point. Excuse me. 2 diseases in the docks at the moment. Yeah, I didn't think we'd really talked much about diseases. Let's see. Look it up. Because we may as well just throw that on there. So what are y'all working on tonight? Or rather, what are you doing in the background? It doesn't always have to be work, but what are y'all up to while you watch me? Let's see. So I feel this is the appropriate week to talk about the plot I had occur in Korea City. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Anytime you want to talk about anything is appropriate. It doesn't, like, you're gonna be the last one in this group of people to derail conversation by talking about D&D topics. So, but absolutely feel free to tell us, because like I said, if there's not a lot going on in the chat, I'm gonna be plugging away. But whether it's just talking to you guys or working on the actual topic for this week, I'd rather be doing that. That's why I get on stream. So, tell me. I put the disease summary in the Discord. Okay, cool. Thank you, Angry Meatball. Whoa. Ludadite Fever. A mixture of illness and curse. The average person can't tell the difference between fever and the traditional flu. Symptoms include fever, chills, coughings, and dizziness, as well as the inability to be cured by traditional magical means, and the potential to spread to nearby magical items or technology, depending on the setting. When afflicted, and And attempting to use magic item or cast a spell, roll a d8. On a result of 7 to 8, the item becomes inert and non-magical for 2 rounds of combat or 1 minute outside of combat. Or the spell fizzles as if by the counterspell spell. No symptoms appear until the 3rd day if infection. However, from the 2nd day of infection until the 8th or until infection, the person has disadvantage. You know what's cool about OneNote that I just realized? Is what I can do as well, because it would not make sense to put it on the same stream page, as I can actually just create a page for 319. And then what I can do is I can take the Discord information, copy it, put it in OneNote, scroll it down like that, and now when we make the actual deep dive document, it can still be added to I don't even know how to pronounce that word. It can be basically added to the archive, is what I'm trying to say. True. Okay. But yeah, Catboy, tell us what happened in Korea City. Thank you for posting that, Angry Meatball. Welcome to the chat, personalities. It's good to see you. Hiya, buddy. Yeah, I mean, the primary effect of potentially causing magic to go inert is very interesting. So, I mean, I think it could lead to some pretty interesting situations. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Personalities, we are working on diseases and curses. So if you have any curses or interesting diseases, feel free to throw them out. Catboy says, so the big bad for the place, oh yeah, Yarno, that's right, used a genie wish to turn everyone in the city into children. He did so in order to sow confusion, in order to carry out his further plotting, as well as further secure his position with the leadership of the city by curing the curse. Oh, damn. So he did this in this like most recent session, or like the party found out that he was behind it in this most recent session. Curses, turning into a red panda. Was that from that movie that just came out? Yeah, I figured. I figured that's what she was going for. What'd you think of the movie, Catboy? Really liked it. I saw like the last 45 minutes of it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought some of the writing wasn't the best. But the animation was very solid. Would this curse also be an allegory for budding womanhood? I don't know that it would be an allegory in your campaign setting, but that is up to the DM. I don't think I would use it as budding womanhood. Yeah, the one part that really tripped me out about that movie, not so much tripped me out, but like I just was confused by the writing direction, is the dad like has the, well, has everyone seen the movie? I assume Personalities has seen it since she referenced it. I don't know if Angry Meatball has seen it or cares. Just let me know. Obviously Catboy saw it, so I just don't like spoiling things if people don't want them spoiled. Because I hate that shit. That's one of my number one pet peeves, is when someone spoils something for me. Okay, fair enough. Well, I guess spoiler warning for those who are watching after the fact, who have not already seen the movie. I can't even remember what the movie was called, but it's the movie where a girl turns into a red panda on Disney. There's no way you can't know which one I'm talking about. Spoiler warning over. So there's the point in the movie where like they're about to do the ritual, and this ritual is to like get rid of the red panda. Okay, the movie's called Turning Red, I'm being told. God damn it, what the fuck is that? Alright, anyway, sorry. Got this little bug that somehow found its way in my room and is deciding to fly down whenever I start talking. Anyways, so in the movie, in Turning Red, towards the end of the movie, they're gonna get rid of her panda, right, by performing some family ritual. And basically her dad, who, at least through the parts of the movie I had seen, plays kind of like a minor role, The mom is the more significant figure and just kind of shits on the dad at any opportunity she gets. He comes to the daughter, the main character, and basically tells her that like maybe the panda isn't such a bad thing after all, and that maybe she should just like be more open and talk to her mom, because like frankly, when her mom was growing up, she had a similar situation with the main character's grandmother where they got into a big fight over this, and then basically just foreshadowing that there's going to be some kind of conflict. It's not going to go as planned. So the dad is effectively the catalyst spurring the main character on into making the decision of not going through with the ritual. But as soon as the ritual fails and it doesn't work because she chose to not let it work, she tries to like run away to go be with her friends, and her dad tries to stop her. And it's kind of like not, I don't know that everyone's going to notice it, because obviously, most people aren't thinking that in depth when watching a movie, and it's a Disney movie, and like everyone was trying to stop her, but it's like a thing of her friends are at a concert, she chose not to go to the concert to be at the ritual, and so she literally like says, no, I'm not going to do the ritual, I want to keep the panda, and I'm going to go be with my friends. And as soon as she does that, you see the dad run up with everyone else and tries to grab her and stop her from running away. And of course they can't stop her because she's a fucking panda. But that threw me off a little bit. I know it's kind of nitpicky, but it's like little details like that. Is the dad was the one who actually, like, quote unquote, caused the ritual to fail through having that conversation with her. It pushed her over the edge. And then he tried to stop her. So, spoilers over. Let me know, people who watched it, what you think, if you noticed that, if you care. Moon spiders, as always, welcome to the chat. And also, as always, you're not first. It's Women's Month. What can I say? Did they release that for Women's Month? Because I really never even heard of this movie until like 3 days ago. Like, was that planned? I mean, the animation of the movie was really good, though. Because, like, the scene immediately after that... I guess I'm going back into spoilers. Spoilers back on for Turning Red. The scene immediately after that, where she's running to the concert, was so well done. Because, like, you have just, like, this mechanic of she's using the panda transformation to propel herself farther, and then using the actual panda form to gain speed. And it's just like, you know, obviously Disney has a reputation for great animation quality, but it was very well done. Like, to the point that I was sitting there thinking about how much I did not like that previous scene, and I still, you know, was like, damn, that's top tier. Women's suffrage was a mistake. That's a hot take. I wish my druid can do that. Your druid can't do that at level 2. Sorry. Try again. Maybe when you're a higher level. You could probably do that once. That sounds like something you'd say. By the way, speaking of movies, you know it's coming out next month. The No Way Home Blu-ray. I know that. If there's something else, I can't think of it. Yeah, once you know Moon Spiders long enough, you like just read those comments as if, you know, as if it's just him saying hello. Personality says, I miss huge melons. And Moon Spider says, me too. With, Bro, you're an idiot. Catboy says, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I haven't seen the first one. I heard it was really good, but I have not seen it. I think they're coming out with a new Sonic game too that looked like it might actually be pretty good. Is it? I was a little skeptical, to be honest. I'll give it a chance. Just because there was so much like drama around it in the beginning and it took forever to come out. But I guess, you know, if they took the time and they made it right, it could have been a good movie. Plus they had a pretty good cast, so... But I don't know. I'll probably watch it. What's it on? Let's see. Let me find out. Let's see where I can watch this movie. So for... Welcome to the chat, Huge Melons. And 2 is going to have my favorite Sonic character, Tails. Tails is a good character. I was never super big into Sonic when I was a kid. I liked Shadow, to be honest. He was a little edgy, but he was cool. Shadow was my boy. There was they had like one PlayStation 2 game that had Shadow as the main character. And that game was dark as fuck. I really do not understand how this was a game associated to the Sonic franchise. Like, I don't know what marketing meeting they had that they were like, yeah, we're going to go all in with the Edgelord Shadow video game. What was that game called? Let me look it up. Because I put a good amount of hours into that game. So guys, I know this has nothing to do with the topic, so just as a reminder, if anyone has suggestions for diseases or curses, feel free to throw them out in between us just talking about... Oh, it was literally just called Shadow the Hedgehog. Makes enough sense. What a game. Like, just like this artwork. Like, how is this a Sonic game? What the fuck? Got him with a fucking rocket launcher or a gun in one hand and an explosion in the background. There's no way. Oh, yeah. And then I remember, like, depending on your route, that was one of the cool things about it. Depending on what you did, the final boss changed. Like, you could either, like, be on Sonic's side or you could end up killing him. What a game. Now, was the story good? Probably not. That game was fun, but having to play through the first few levels every time you wanted to explore a different path. True. True. But at least those games came out, at a time where we were young enough that, at least I was young enough. You're not that much older than me. We were about the same age, basically. So, you didn't think about those things as much as you do now. You're always more critical when you get older. So, but I don't think that game would hold up very well to today's standards. I always like to do that, like when I think back on something that like I spent a lot of time on when I was younger, or I really enjoyed when I was younger. Like go back and either like replay it or rewatch it if it's a movie or anime or something, and see if it actually holds up X years later. Like a couple of years ago, I rewatched Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know if anyone's ever watched Yu Yu Hakusho. Like watched it start to finish. Bought the whole series, rewatched it because I loved that shit when I was a kid. I did not think it was going to hold up very well, but it actually is still really fucking good. Whereas if you go back and you watch like Dragon Ball Z, you gotta have the nostalgia glasses on. Honestly, the game was a good idea, but the execution wasn't so good. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's just too different. And for, a company that makes games very opposite of that, it's hard to pivot story-wise. Not that Sonic stories have ever been, something to cry home about, I've never seen the last arc. I would recommend it. It is a very interesting direction that the story goes. Wait, so when you say last arc, because like a lot of people haven't actually seen the last arc because I don't think they initially released it. Like before streaming services got really popular in America. But a lot of people only watched up to the tournament arc There are 2 arcs after that. Curse, the first sip of everything tastes like dog shit. What would you call that curse? No name, meaning that you don't have a name or you want to name it no name. Because that takes it from being like a really basic idea that could still be kind of interesting to a dog shit idea, to be honest. This is like, no name could be interesting for certain things, but not for a very specific, like, non-ambiguous curse. Did you hear? Johnny has no name. Every time he drinks wine, he's got to chug it down. Or he has to take a baby sip, actually. He could never look at his dog the same again. Curse. Every 4K steps, you sprain your ankle. Alright. I assume this one also has no name. like, this reminds me of one of the very first streams. I think it was either the first or second stream where we came up with this idea of the fucking, like, god of inconvenience. Like, he just causes fucking just minor... Most buyers, you're not very good at this part. I'm glad you like it, Huge Melons. I'm glad you like it. I've seen part of season 3. Then I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that correlates specifically, to be honest. I could figure it out, but either way, it's good enough that if you have the opportunity, you should go back and finish it. I know that it's on Hulu because every time I watch Attack on Titan, it tries to automatically the next thing that plays is Yu Yu Hakusho for some reason. But I haven't watched it on there, so I don't know that the whole show is actually there. But I just bought the Blu-rays from Best Buy and watched it from home. That's after the Dark Tournament part. That would be when he confronts his predecessor. Like, basically another spirit detective. Not to spoil too much, because it's not a super big reveal, but I definitely think the tournament arc was the best arc, for sure. But it's still really good after that. Every 4K steps, you sprain your ankle. What an incredible idea for a curse. Like, I feel like it's almost not even a curse anymore. It's just a fucking huge inconvenience. So, a couple things real quick, just because Catboy was initially the first one in here, and I kind of talked about it, but I'm sure you guys have noticed that I am not in my usual setup. This is because the table did not show up on Sunday like it was supposed to, and I took everything down immediately after the stream on Saturday to make sure there was room for the table. So I was not really a fan of the idea of putting it back together to be able to run stream tonight, so I moved everything into my office. So that way I can get the stream going for today using the webcam. And then hopefully I should receive the table tomorrow. And then I will be back there on Wednesday. Also, once again, giveaway stream is going to be Saturday. Assuming the table does show up and that nothing gets in the way, there will be an additional stream on Friday. I've already marked it on the calendar. So, yeah, got some exciting stuff going on this week. What are we defining as a curse now that you mention it? I mean, so this is the, the drill. This is the line item phase. So really, I would say be as broad as you want, as non-traditionally curse-like as a curse that causes you to taste dog shit when you take your first sip of anything. Moon Spiders, why are you so dumb, bro? Why do you do this every time? But yeah, I wouldn't be strict with the definition, because at the end of the day, anything that goes on here that is either so simple that there's really not a lot of fleshing out we need to do, or maybe doesn't really fit the theme of something that interests us, we just don't have to work on it on Saturday, Or we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Moon Spiders said a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. Damn. Huge Melons then followed up with duh. Henry Gold then says, thank you, Merriam-Webster, ever so helpful. Personality says, a curse my friend had was that every time he saw an owl, somebody in his family dies. You say your friend, how did your friend know that this was a curse? Like, how is this validated? Where did they get this information from? I like the core concept, though. Like, there's a creature that, if seen, causes a family member to die. Show me the owls. Some lady in Louisiana did some voodoo on him. I would imagine she means IRL, Moon Spiders. Seeing as she specifically said in Louisiana. I don't know, maybe you sent that too early. Yes. Yikes. That is no bueno. I don't know. I don't know how much I believe in that stuff, to be honest, but I know people too. In game terms, a curse is a in-universe method of controlling character behavior. Yeah. Curse of loquaciousness? What would be the effect of this curse, Catboy? I think I have a general idea, but you let me know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it doesn't have to be so specific, though. Because you could have curses like these that are just like funny, or be side questy, right? Because the the real the real trick to the curse isn't so much what its effect is, it's what the cause and the cure are. So if you go into a town and there's a dude who supposedly every time he drinks something, his drink tastes like dog shit, you might just write that off as a funny thing. Or you might give it be a reason for characters to embark on a side quest to solve this problem. Myself. I'm so glad you know that word too. I'm cursed with these huge melons. I'm sorry. Isn't that for Saturday? That's true. That's true. But, that second part is what I figure you're going for. So. What a word. That is a vocab word right there. You give that word to a kid at the spelling bee, then you being an a-hole. I mean, I'm sure that's probably not the hardest one these kids get nowadays. So an effective curse should start with behavior you want to promote or curtail and build outward. Fair enough. I mean, once again, I wouldn't worry too much about that specifically because some of the curses aren't even going to really be intended to target the character, and ultimately that's what Saturday's for, is for us to decide which ones are interesting enough to fully flesh out, and then, we can kind of go from there. Because I could just see the Red Panda one, as dumb as it is because it's coming from a movie, could actually be something that's could be made into something interesting, right? With this stream, I could see us on Saturday making this a compelling curse, whether it's something that afflicts the party or does not, right? And that's the key takeaway, is it doesn't have to actually affect the party directly for the curse to be effective. Because I would definitely, and probably will, most certainly use that curse, that second one, to just make a funny fucking joke in my campaign. Now, whether the party goes to do something about it or not, who knows? It just needs a name. That's all that thing is missing. I'm not calling it no name. Catboy says that guy won't. Moon Spider says Inglorious Bastards. Imagine someone have the curse of loquaciousness and the curse on Francesca. Ooh. Francesca Silafren. Damn. What a woman. With that loud voice. That's good water. It's good water. Sponsored today by Fresh Clean Water. I had to pull a lot of strings to get this deal. So, you can say I made it big. Ooh. Let's see. "4K steps, you sprain your ankle." Every time I read that, it just... No. That's wild. It's a wild idea. Moon Spiders, how do you come up with these things? Also, how are you doing today, Moon Spiders? I did not ask you. Ooh. Alright. I'm going to create a side topic for today because one of my players asked me a good question. It's something that I've been meaning to do. So this will be my other side work instead of working on building out the stream. I need to not put it on this page though. We'll call this one what do we want to call this? CC tools maybe? Tools. I'll make it creation tools. So I'm gonna create a side topic. Feel free to throw out any ideas for this one as well. Because one thing that I do, or one thing I did with my last campaign is I actually had a questionnaire for the characters. So basically I had I think it was 50, 60 random, not really random, but just 50, 60 questions that maybe your player would or would not think about when creating a character. And this gave me the ability to make them think about it, so that way I could then have them fill out the questionnaire and then have a better idea of who their character was. Why is this not getting actually bigger or whatever? I'm just gonna make that a 20, and then we'll do name, race, class, background. So yeah, I'm gonna go from the most generic, obvious ones to getting a little bit more in depth throughout the night. So just if you think of something for curses, diseases, or questions, literally just questions that you would ask when creating a character, feel free to throw them out. Drow, Moon Spiders? What does that mean? Drow is a race. I'm not asking what your character's race is. I'm asking for questions for creating a character. So, unless I'm misunderstanding why you put Drow. Parents' names. Drow is his name? Oh, I just got back and I saw it. So basically, this is a questionnaire that I'm building, right? So the idea would be like, let's say that you are gonna play in a D&D campaign that I'm running. This document would basically be something that I would give to you, and I would say, "Hey, Moon Spiders, I need you to answer these 60 questions, or whatever the total comes out to, because these are all things that either you need to know as the player or I need to know as the DM in order to fill in some of the holes from your backstory / world building." Um, your answer is still drow. Okay, well, that's not a question, so I appreciate it though. I appreciate you trying. Dragon Craze. Hey, welcome to the chat. How are you doing today? I see it's your first time here, so welcome. If you're not familiar with what we do here, we are a world building stream primarily for D&D, but most of what we can do can be drag and dropped into any other RPG. So we are currently working on some world building and tool creation right now. So Dragon Chris is doing good, working on some DM prep for my Curse of Strahd campaign. Sounds good. Curse of Strahd is a good module to run. What's your experience with D&D? It's always something that I ask new viewers. And that's kind of the theme is, right? Like, we want you here to be able to kind of work on whatever you're working on or do whatever you're doing, and then just kind of join in the background and add to the ideas that we're throwing out. Today we are specifically working on, where am I? Streams? We are working on curses and diseases. So the way we kind of do things here is Mondays and Wednesdays, typically we just gather a list of ideas to try to, get as broad of a selection as we can. And then on Saturdays, we will actually deep dive and build out those ideas as much as we can into making something really usable in, once again, D&D or other RPG settings. So if you have any ideas for diseases or curses, feel free to throw those out. During kind of the in-betweens of people throwing out suggestions, I am also working on converting all of my D&D notes into OneNote. So right now I'm recreating a questionnaire. So if you have ideas for good questions that could be used when building a character, feel free to throw that out as well. But it's my spiel. That's everything you need to know in a nutshell. So welcome to the stream. Dragon Cray said, played for around 3 to 4 years, only the second time DMing. Hey, you're a hero. The world needs more DMs, so thank you for taking up the task. But that's good. 3 to 4 years. It's a solid amount of time. It's a good amount of time for you to start DMing for sure. How big is your party going to be? If you already know who's playing in it. Angry Meatball says, I always ask my players how their characters celebrate their birthday. That's a great question. Let me put characters birthday. Guess I'll say if applicable. How? Oh, okay, so you're already mid campaign. So 6 players, and you're already through Durst Manor. Cool. That is a very good question, Meatball. I like that a lot because that says a lot about a character. And that's kind of the theme, is like the deeper questions should be things that like really most people would just not think about, but it still says a lot about a person or a character. I'll also ask if your character was alive today, what would their favorite song be? Another good question. And I will, once the document is ready, just like everything else, I'll post this on the Discord so you guys can use it as well if you like. Oh, I guess one last or two last things, Dragon Craze, very quickly, is anything we create on this stream does get posted on our Discord server. The link is on the Twitch if you care to join. And we will also be having a giveaway on Saturday. It'll be the first one for the channel. So all you got to do is be a follower of the stream, and if you and show up and leave at least one comment at any point throughout the stream, at least before I give away everything. So I may not have that set up yet. I just need to sit down and set up the commands. Yeah. I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow after I get off work. I'll sit down and review some of these commands. Here, I'll just send you a link. Put it in the chat real quick. Did they? Sure did. Good job, sir. You figured it out. Welcome to the archive. Well, welcome to the Discord server, at least. But yeah, there's going to be a few different prizes. In the Discord, there's a channel with the details for the giveaway. But like I said, all you got to do is show up on Saturday, and as long as you're a follower, you leave one comment, you're entered to win. What was I? Oh no, there we go. Okay. Does your character have siblings? It doesn't matter. This is just the initial one. Either way. Okay. April says, every now and again I'll take a few questions from the Prost questionnaire, but the effectiveness differs from person to person. I will look it up. Take a look at it. Dragon Craze said, my DM sent us a 50 question questionnaire. I can send some of those if you like. Yeah, go for it. Or alternatively, if you are inclined to do so, that is what the Discord is for. If you have access to the doc and want to post it, you can. Don't feel like you're going to get in trouble for posting links or dropping docs as long as they're appropriate. But otherwise, feel free to send any questions. Are you a morning or night person? If I could spell, that would be great. Good questions. Good back-to-back questions. Okay, keep those coming. I will be right back. I'm gonna put it on the curse page real quick, just in case if anyone joins and they want to see what our primary topic is. But I'm gonna fill up my water real quick, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm coming back right now because I saw that Dragon Craze just followed and joined the archive. So I wanted to make sure to at least shout that out before I went and filled up my water. So thank you for following Dragon Craze. The little animation probably isn't going to show up because I think I literally clicked away the moment you clicked follow. But thank you so much for joining. We really do appreciate it. Now we'll be right back. Thank you once again, Dragon Craze. Definitely appreciate the follow. I'll give my Streamlabs a second while it loads back all those assets. Don't let Junior's account find out he took some damage. Let's see. Okay. Dragon Craze said, what does your character think happens after they die? Another great question. Okay. Does your character love or hate being alone? Duck. So how'd you get into D&D Dragon Craze? I know you say you've been playing for 3-4 years, but what kicked off your adventure? I don't even remember. I just started watching it on here one day. I found a channel that I became friends with, and when one of their players dipped, I got asked if I wanted to join their next campaign. Okay, I see. That's cool. Where do you feel safe? That's another good question. See, this is much more efficient than what I was doing before. I'm really glad that I decided to download OneNote. And there's that side quest done for the village. Good job. Good job. Okay. Okay. What's everyone doing in the background right now? Obviously, Dragon Craze is working on D&D stuff like me, but what's everyone else doing? What are y'all working / enjoying right now? I have become a blue mage. A blue mage in what? In FF14? Yeah. I feel like there was another game that I played where there was a distinction in red and blue mages. I know that exists in D&D as well, but what am I thinking of? Maybe, I guess it's just a consistent term throughout the Final Fantasy series. That's probably what it is. Probably just a different FF game that I've actually played. I'm hashing out the conflicts of interplanar entities. That is a sentence right there. Like, imagine you said that out of the context of this D&D chat, you know? Like, you just... Like, someone calls you, your friend calls you and says, hey, what you doing? You say, I'm hashing out the conflicts of interplanar entities. That's not a sentence that you can say everywhere and have it have the same effect. Most of my friends would understand. That's fair. That means you have the right friends. That means you have the right friends, sir. And there's almost nothing more valuable in life. Yeah, blue magic is present in a lot of them. It's always about learning magic from monsters, but the exact mechanics differ from game to game. Okay, I see. That makes sense. I don't think that mechanic, was in 15, though. Because 15 is the most recent, well, I say most recent, I mean, I think it's still the most recent game. I'm not counting, like, updates for 14 and the fact that they're working on a new one, but I played 15. I have not played most of the others. Played a bit of 7, a bit of 10. There's one other I played, but I don't remember. I think it was 6. And I played like next to nothing of the very first one. But I have played practically all of Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if y'all can tell, but there's literally a Kingdom Hearts poster right here behind me. That guy right there. That's my jam. It was my game ever since childhood. But in all honesty, that's a game that does not hold up extremely well, story-wise, with the test of time. Mechanically, still a very good game. I've only played one Kingdom Hearts game. Which one was it? Because depending on which one, they can be very different from each other. Ooh, 358 over 2 days for Nintendo 3D or Nintendo DS actually. Damn. That's how you know I'm a fucking nerd. I know that full name like the back of my hand. What'd you think of it? Because that game had a lot of things not going for it, being on the DS compared to on like a PlayStation or any other full screen console. I liked it too. I liked the. If you've only played that one, it's hard to appreciate story wise what made it so good. Like, I don't know if you walked in knowing anything about it. Now I need to decide if I want to go to bed or I want to work on my homebrew module. Let's see. Yeah, how much time you got? Angry Meatball asked it best. What time is it in your area? It's 9:30 here, so I don't know that I mean, you could, assuming if you're Central Time, you could put in a good hour of work before bed and still get a good night's sleep. Yeah, so you're Central Time, cool. I don't know. I mean, if you're not specifically tired, I'd give it a good hour. go to bed by 11, still get a good 7 hours sleep. That's how I try to operate, at least, is try to get at least 7 hours. If you need more sleep than that, then I wouldn't do it. But yeah, Catboy, you said you knew enough. Like, I'm not even gonna give a spoiler warning, because if you haven't played the Kingdom Hearts games by now, you're probably not going to. I mean, I can function on 6. Well, hey man, you're welcome to chill with us as long as you want. We're gonna be here till 11 o'clock tonight, your time. So, I more so meant for anyone else who is watching it, Catboy, because I'm not gonna drone on and on about Kingdom Hearts too much. I could talk forever about it though, but basically, the thing that makes that game so unique is that you already know that the character you're playing as is completely fucked from the start of the game if you've played the other games as they came out. Because in Kingdom Hearts 2, you play as the same character in the very beginning of it, and the character, for lack of a better term, without having to explain a lot of the game's history, the character basically dies. Dies is not correct, but we'll say dies. So you're playing a prequel to that death. So you know that he's going to die in the end. You know he's not going to be around when the story's over. So you're just playing through what was a non-fleshed out story at that point. And the fact that I was still blasted. I was booty blasted at the end of that game. The parts with Shion, oh my god. It's fucking wild. Oh. That is a good call out. Alright, I'll be right back. I, in my rush to make a pseudo-usable streaming setup, forgot to plug in my computer. So let me go grab the charger real quick, so that way it does not die midstream, because that would be pretty big technical difficulty. Be right back. Computer is charging. Very cool. That would help just a little bit. Cool. Is the stream boss stuck? Let's see. Go ahead and speed him up real quick. Let him hit a corner. Are you initially from Alabama, Dragon Craze? You don't have to share any personal information you don't want to, but we've got people from all over at this point, so I am always curious. Like, I'm originally from South Dakota. Wait, did it actually get immediately stuck the other way? No, it'll be fine. Whatever. But yeah. Characters model. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I thought I should mention that my rework of the Scribe Wizard is an archivist magus. Kind of fits with the channel, so I thought it might be interesting. Yeah, born and raised here, lived about 5 miles from the Tennessee line. That's cool. Do you find yourself crossing that line into Tennessee for any reason very often? Because, depending on what part, I don't know if there's anything interesting in Tennessee close by to you. Because it's a nice little border to be on, if it is. As far as the archivist, that is very interesting. Definitely feel free to share it in the world building or subclass part of the Discord channel. I go to church in Tennessee, and my paternal grandparents live in Tennessee. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think I always, well, it's just interesting the way that borders work, right? Because in that case, it's like you live in Alabama, but if you're going to Tennessee often enough, it's not like you're really, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like it's almost like you live in both, because where you live isn't just about where your house is. It's where you spend large portions of your time. So, you sleep in Alabama. That's that's for sure. I've been to Tennessee once. When I was I actually, similar to the conversation we're having, I drove to Tennessee from Illinois because I was in Illinois for a wedding, and we surprised the groom to be with a bachelor party-esque. We didn't get too crazy or anything, but our bachelor party we took a 3-hour road trip from Illinois to Nashville, where we actually saw Kendrick Lamar, which is really cool. That was awesome. That was definitely one of the more interesting adventures I've been on. I live about 2 hours south of Nash. Yeah, that area where their Coliseum slash, or I should say stadium slash concert hall was really nice because it was just like basically this giant boardwalk. Not even really a boardwalk isn't the best term, but you could literally just walk between different bars and restaurants and things like that in like basically this gigantic square. It was really unique. I didn't get to have any of the Nashville hot chicken though. I was a little disappointed about that. So, when I go back to Nashville, that would be something I do. Actually, how far is Nashville from where I live? That's gotta be a pretty good distance. Let's see. I mean, it could be worse. 13-hour drive. I've driven worse. I probably won't drive worse than that again. I'll just fly next time. My ex and I ate at Poncho and Lefty's literally right across from the stadium while we were there for her Christmas present. Poncho and Lefty's. How was that? Scale of 1 to 10. Wow. This is unreal what I'm watching right now. This little bug flew in, probably when I was feeding my dog earlier, and dude's flying around and somehow probably got some of the dust from the fan. I don't know where he got this dust from, but regardless, he's flying around with the dust weighing him down. He's just literally struggling. It's kind of interesting to watch. But it was decent, probably around a 7. I'm a big dude, so the portions weren't as big as I would have liked. Fair enough. And based on the location, it was probably not the cheapest either. But 7 out of 10 is worth trying. I don't know if it's worth a 14-hour drive for, but I am a huge foodie. Like, I actually have had to be very strict on myself the first couple of months of this year to try to lose some of the weight that I gained in the last couple of months of last year, because I went to New York and I went ham. But it was fun. I literally put myself into a coma. Well, not literally, but I put myself into a food coma the second day of my trip in New York. Like, I had to sleep for 3 hours because I could not move. Just not the best use of my time. Oh well. Okay, let's go back and work on this a little bit more. Speaking of food, if you know about the COS campaign, there is a dinner portion that the characters can partake in with Strahd. We were discussing actually meeting up and making the meal and eating the meal alongside the characters in the session. That would be cool. Yeah, I actually played... I know exactly what you're talking about because I played in a Curse of Strahd campaign last year, and the DM did something similar, like not like a super robust meal, but there was, it was nice. It was nice. I would have to fly to Wisconsin to do it. Oof. How far is... I made one of the recipes we were thinking of at the moment. What was it? What's the dish? I mean, that would be like a really fun thing to do. Like, if you want to go out and see your players in Wisconsin, and hopefully you're not just staying for the one day, or a 13-hour drive. Cool, driving, flying, however you're going to get there. As long as you're going to... I wouldn't put everything on that one session for a trip, if that makes sense. Like, I think the idea is great, but that is a lot of time, effort, and energy on top of running a great session to, you know, have that be the only thing keeping you there. So hopefully they have other things that they can do with you while you're in Wisconsin. I'll fly in at least a day prior. Very cool. I think it's a great idea. Rosemary and garlic roast beef with mushroom sauce. That sounds... I don't know about the mushroom sauce, personally. Mushrooms are... I have a love-hate relationship with mushrooms, but... Would you like to see the roast? Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see it. That rosemary and garlic roast beef sounds amazing, though. Especially if you do it right and just, like, melts in your mouth, you know? Yeah, feel free to either... if you have it in a link, you can link it here in the chat, or you can just drop the picture in the general part of the Discord. Whichever is easier for you. The recipe called for a ribeye roast, but I used a round roast, so it was a little tougher than I would have liked. Fair enough. I mean, it was your first attempt, you know, trial and error. The handful of things that I'm halfway decent at cooking, I typically did not get the way that I wanted on the first try. Well, I'd use round roast because it's about 1/3 of the price of ribeye roast. There you go. For your personal use, Aiden, are you collating these questions into a document, or would you typically ask these two players in person? No, literally what I'm going to do is when the document is ready, I am going to give it to my players now, because most of them already know what characters they're going to play in the campaign. So this is just to help them flesh out things in their mind, and then I can also take the answers to use them in ways that, you know, obviously some questions will be more relevant than others in the campaign. And then, like I said earlier, I'll post the finished document in the Discord once it's ready, and then you guys can do the same thing. But yeah, these are questions that sometimes I have asked players. Some of these questions that you guys have suggested have never even crossed my mind, but mostly it'll be like an interview or a survey, basically, before the campaign. Pictures in general. Let me look at this. Oh, shit. Damn, that looks pretty good. Oh, man. I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm hungry. Yeah, that looks really good. Oh. Okay. 2 years of culinary training in high school. Nice. Looks like it paid off because it's made me regret eating my meal prep today. You should see some of the desserts that I make. Hey man, let me know when you're going to Wisconsin. be your guest eater. Right now I'm looking at like another questionnaire. And some of the, like this questionnaire is like questions to get to 100 best questions to get to know somebody. And some of them are just like, some of them are good. Some of them are really bad. Like, where is this one? How many pillows do you sleep with? You gonna ask somebody that to get to know them? I don't know. I don't think I would. Oh God. This is probably a mistake. I probably shouldn't look at these cakes. Oh my God. Fuck me. Doesn't everyone use 3 to 4? I have 3. I really only sleep with 1. Both were made from scratch. Yeah, you're actually making me very hungry right now. Like, I'm really gonna have to stop myself from eating after this now. It's fine. I will not succumb to the temptation of eating at 10 o'clock, which is a terrible thing to do for me. Fuck. But those cakes look really good. I arrange mine in a U shape around my head. Do you like toss in your sleep a lot? I sleep with one and cuddle another. That's a solid option. It's a solid option. One weird thing that I used to do is I had, and it was probably pretty, like, it was super random. I used to have a sleeping bag that, I don't know why, I loved sleeping with the sleeping bag. So, like, when I was a kid, I could not sleep without said sleeping bag. It would bother me. Which obviously makes no sense because I was in a whole ass bed, but it was a comfy ass sleeping bag. I wouldn't sleep inside of it. I would just like have it next to me, kind of like a second pillow. It was very cool to the touch and very comfortable. I like to keep my position options open. That's fair. That's fair. It's a good strategy for sure. Let's see. But yeah, the roast is one item in the 6 courses that we have planned. Ugh. I'm getting a little jealous. It sounds like it's gonna smack. You might have trouble keeping your players' attention once you put them in a food coma like that. But it'll be worth it. So have you ever met your players before in person, or is this going to be your first time? No, first time. One is from Arizona, 4 from the Wisconsin, Michigan area, and 1 is from England. Holy cow. And they're all going to fly in? They're going to plan to do the meal when he comes to visit. Fair enough. That's crazy. He's coming from England. That's I mean, honestly, that's an honor, you know? I would be very, very honored to have someone fly from England. Well, A, just to see me. That's, you know, nice in and of itself. But to play in my D&D campaign? Let me send this to myself. He and another one of the players are probably going to be in a pretty serious relationship here soon, so he's not coming to see me. Hey, well, good for him. Good for him. Congratulations on the happy couple. Go ahead and attach this. What time is it? Oh, wow. Already 2 hours in. We got about an hour left in the stream, guys. So feel free to keep ideas coming. Otherwise, I'll keep working on the questionnaire. There we go. Upload and then send that to myself. I do also need to pick out a new disc plate because I get paid tomorrow for my new job, which means I need to buy a new disc plate for the wall. Try to buy one every paycheck. So I'll need to look at those here in a minute. If I play my cards right, the 2 players who are sisters have another sister who is single. Oh my god. Well, how's it seeming? Do they have your back on that? Have you made your intentions known? Or, you know, you're just gonna try to wing it? keep opening this shit up. Let me not stay on that page. Otherwise, I'm going to get hungry. There we go. They know that I might be interested. They're trepidatious about it because of how long distance it would be, especially since if it happens, it would be her first legit relationship. Plus, they both love me, so I have their backing, I think. Okay. Well, I wish you luck. That is a fair point, though. Long distance can be extremely challenging. So, but you never know. Sometimes love prevails. So does the sister in question also play, or if she has any interest in those hobbies? Be a good sign if she did, just because that means you guys have something in common. But either way, wow, that's a good song. Long distance does suck, but they have said she does want to move down south. Sounds like the cards are in your favor, sir. Yeah. I couldn't do long distance personally. It is a lot. Well, I take that back. Maybe for the right person, I can do long distance. At least if it was a definitive amount of time. I don't think I could do ambiguous long distance where we don't know how long it's actually going to be until the problem of long distance is not a problem anymore. And if it was short enough. Because I'm not doing 2+ years of long distance. She doesn't, but she said it's because she just doesn't have time to sit down and learn the rules and whatnot. Fair enough. Tried it with my ex, Alabama, South Carolina, and it would have gone better if she was a better person. Damn. Well, sorry it didn't work out. But hopefully you learned some things from it, and it makes your future relationships better. It's the most you can ask at the end of the day. Let me check if... Okay. Let's switch that back. Did you end up deciding to work on the module? minutes. Oh, I got in bed like 10 minutes ago. Fair enough. I will be following suit here in about 50 minutes. Because I gotta be up early. Not as early as you, but not too far off from it. About 6:45. Oh, where am I? Sorry for taking over the chat with all my stuff. What are you talking about, man? This is what we're here for. Like, my whole thing is, so to give you the story, we've been doing this stream for about a month and a half now. Maybe not a month and a half, close to it. Tangry Meatball's point, yeah, this is usually how it goes, especially when we have someone we don't know as well join the chat, right? But don't feel bad about that kind of stuff, because ultimately the reason why I started this stream is because I will be running my next D&D campaign hopefully we'll start in July or August is the current plan, because it's almost entirely homebrew, and you can actually see the placeholder map here above my head, and there's a lot of work I need to do to make it usable and ready to go. I was having trouble, like, honestly, like, just committing the time to sitting down and writing it, and I know if I wait until June to write everything, I'm going to have a lot of problems. So I told myself, well, why don't I, start a stream, and then I have 3 to 4 hours a couple times a week where I'm on camera. And if I'm on camera, I'm liable to, just have good conversation and get ideas from people and help stimulate my own ideas. But B, I just commit time to thinking about this stuff, which will help me to once again generate ideas and get stuff written down. So even though we structure the stream with specific topics in order to like have a focus point, personally, man, I'm not really I'm not tripping if all we're doing is talking to each other, because otherwise why are we here? The ideas will come. We've come up with so many good ideas on this stream. The ideas are going to come regardless. I don't see a point in rushing them. So you feel free to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Because at the end of the day, if someone else has an idea, they can always drop it in the chat as well. There's nothing that stops them. And as you've seen, I'm typing away my own stuff in between you guys dropping ideas. So it's not like I'm not getting what I need to done in the background. We talked about Turning Red and Sonic for several minutes earlier. Yes, we did. It was a good conversation. Yeah, it's the great thing about the Twitch chat is even if you're talking about a particular subject, there's really no reason that someone else in the chat can't just talk about a completely different subject. Because I'm literally just going to read the comments. If the subject that you're talking about is on the topic of the stream or fits within like our work, quote unquote work, then I'll just type it onto the document, and then it'll be recorded there. And if it's not related, I'm still going to read it off and talk to you about it. I'm just not going to type it onto the document. So there's no difference. You don't get in the way of anyone else doing what they want to do. So Fair point. See, I mean, that's the way I look at it, at least. Like, if the channel were to get so big that the amount of comments made it unreadable for me to keep up with stuff, and then I end up missing a bunch of things, that would be different. But we're not, we don't have 60, 70 people in here talking at once. So would you like to hear about the 5e reskin module that I'm working on? Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about it. Are you raising your hand? Be chattier normally, but I'm trying to work through some of this week's topics. Go for it, Angry Meatball. If you have anything you want to share, feel free to let us know. But at that same point, like, don't feel obligated to talk if you're working on something. Just, as much as we get distracted, there are also times where I just stare at the screen for 5 to 10 minutes straight and I'm just plugging away at stuff. So if you're doing the same thing over there, don't trip about it. It's all good. You talk as much as you want, when you want. Hello again. Welcome back, personalities. I'm sure you came back with some great curses, great diseases, maybe some great questions to ask someone who's building a character. But either way, it's good to have you back. Dragon Craze says, working on a Weird West fantasy meets a Western reskin of 5e system, reworking classes and subclasses, spells, adding a damage type, adding a mount mechanic, feats, items, etc., etc. Whoa, that's an undertaking. Also reworking a lot of the races. How much time are you putting into it? Not sure, Angry Meatball says, not sure particularly. I find most diseases to be counter to the normal flow of fun gameplay and more often than not obtuse just for the sake of it. And curses are best suited to specific items or situations. Okay, fair enough. Oh shit. Dragon Craze says I put 2 years into it already, but only decided that it would be a full reskin within the last 4 to 5 months. How long do you think it'll take you? I already have all the classes renamed. That's good. That's a good step. I was watching some K-drama. I cried. My last D&D character was inspired by a K-drama, so I want to add a minor detail to my character. Laugh out loud. What is this minor detail that you would like to add to your character? thank you for the update, Catboy. Compendium. For those who do not know what Catboy is talking about, we have a article or a PDF that Catboy is gracious enough to update once a week that houses all of the topics that have been discussed in the archive up until that previous Saturday. So if you are on the Discord, that is going to be in the Aiden's Archive Stream Docs section. And there are two different documents there. So we're now on version 1.3. Very nice. Would you like to hear the renames? Might make a game where you try to figure out the base class. Yeah, go for it. I'll play the game. Give me a rename, and I'll try to figure out if I know what the base class is. Are these strictly classes, or are they also subclasses? Just so I know how broad to think when you drop a name in there. That I know that those aren't my real parents and kept it a secret. I will explain in person tomorrow why that's a bad idea for your character based on what you've already done to the character. And ultimately, as always, if it's what you want to do, you can. But you need to add a lot of detail to that to make that sensible for Hiraya. Because she's already got so much going on that alone is not a very good detail. I'm glad I decided to add version numbers. Yeah, I like it. Makes it seem so official, you know? Version 1.3. Abbot? That's a monk. No, well, actually, an abbot could also be I'll read through the rest before I decide, but that's either a monk or a cleric. Arcanist, gunslinger, so that's, well, actually, how many, did you use all the source books for these? I'll just pull up the class list. I'm trying to do these off the top of my head. I need a cross-reference. At some point, I'll make a major revision and go to version 2.0. Fair enough. Damn. Already talking about version 2.0s. That would be wild. Let's see. Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard, Artificer, and Blood Hunter. Ooh. Well, alright, we can start with the easy one. Rampager is definitely Bard. JK, that's Barbarian. Shaman, gotta be Druid. Tinkerer is gonna be Artificer. Or Tinker is Artificer. Highwayman, Hunter, Magus, Cultist, Priest. Cultist is going to be a Warlock. Let's see. that even the same number? I'm gonna say abbot is monk. Final answer. Arcanist versus magus. What do I have left? Wizard and sorcerer? I mean, I'm gonna say arcanist is wizard. Final answer. Arcanist is wizard. Like, that's a tricky one, though, because magus could be... Yeah, I was going to say, that one's... Is magus wizard, then? Because both are so very close to being... Yeah, I mean... Which means... Yeah, which means arcanist is sorcerer. I spelled that wrong, but fuck it, I'm gonna just put it in there. Y'all get the idea. So what does that leave? That leaves priest, which at that point is gonna be a cleric, if we're being honest. Yeah, both words are very wizardly words. Highwayman, hunter, troubadour. Let's see. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I was right. It does have to do with music. So a troubadour is a bard. Troubadour. Okay, cool. Thanks for the correction. Now I know. So, highwayman, hunter, gunslinger, zealot. That's tricky. Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say is like zealot has to be a paladin at that point, but yeah, and then I'm gonna guess hunter is ranger. The issue is, well, actually no, I think I figured it out because then highwayman is probably rogue. Which just leaves gunslinger. Okay, so I guess gunslinger is fighter. That just threw me off because, like, fighter is the most versatile class in D&D, so, like, grouping it into one category was giving me a little trouble. But that is the only setup that would make sense. I am inclined to agree. I'm sure there probably are ways that zealot could be used positively, but I cannot think of one off the top of my head. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let me look it up. Yeah, it definitely does not inherently mean anything negative. But just because once you had human nature into the mix, No, I mean, you would generally... Uh, actually, never mind. I misread that text. How have you ever used the word zealous to describe someone's actions? Yeah, that's a fair point. You're not wrong. You are not wrong at all, actually. Yeah. Yep. Fair on both sides. But I think, in fairness, connotation is, at least in this sense, when he's creating his own world, not as important as the denotation, personally. Okay. It can affect players' perceptions, but otherwise, yeah, not so important. Yeah, I think in the case of, like, by the time that this is workable and usable, that's just part of, like, the session 0 and the briefing on the world and the lore, right? So yeah, if it definitely does not come up until your mid-campaign, probably going to have some problems. But otherwise, it won't matter. At least you're going to have some confusion, not some actual problems. So world building question. How commonly known is the distinction between sorcerers, warlocks, wizards in your world? How commonly known? Like, people who understand magic to a relatively basic degree wouldn't know that. Like, you wouldn't have to have a insane arcana stat in order to understand that. So I'd say it's pretty commonly known. Maybe not to, like, every Joe Schmo in every bumfuck town is going to be able to articulate the difference. But any wizard is going to understand the different sources of magical ability and understand that their magical ability comes from their study and knowledge of their tomes, and that there are others who are in some ways not reliant on that knowledge. Dragon Craze says, I guess that also comes down to your own religious beliefs and how they affect your ideas of what makes someone a zealot, and if it's a good or bad thing. I think it's just a less common thing. Like when you traditionally hear stories of people who are referred to as zealots, it is usually in a somewhat negative light. So, not that there aren't possibly instances where that's not the case. And yeah, for sure, the literal definition is not negative, but that's interesting. That's an interesting glitch. Okay. Depends on the world, but typically not all at all to anyone who can't cast magic or only has magic via race. Wizards and warlocks learn very quickly. Sorcerers might never learn if they don't care to. Yeah, that's very, very clear and concise. That's about right. Still at 1000 HP. You actually shouldn't be at 1000 HP, but I guess because of the circumstance of how the follow happened, it did not actually knock your HP down? I don't know. Weird. But we do have a new follower. Welcome to the Chad Jr.'s account. We did have Dragon Craze follow during the stream, so normally would have knocked down some HP, but for whatever reason it did not. Oh my god. Is that true? Can I do that? I'm gonna try something real quick. Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't actually. That is good to know, though. I'm learning new things all the time about this streaming thing. As far as my world's in the first, the distinction isn't widely known except in Mage Haven where everyone knows. Yeah, it's like the kind of thing, like, if you know, you know, which I know sounds dumb, but I think Angry Meatball's description is pretty much the, like, most accurate generic one. Obviously, every world is going to be different to a certain degree. But I think anyone who really understands how magic actually works, whether they are a practicer or not, like anyone who's studied or researched to any degree how magic works in their world would understand that there are multiple ways to acquire it. And then from there, the degree of being able to speak to it would depend on your actual background and how far those studies have gone. But the average person isn't going to really understand it. I think the only one that might cause some confusion are the occultists, since they kind of bridge the gap. Yeah, I mean, occultists would for sure have some some connotations inflicted there, or implied there. But that one's easy to guess from like a class standpoint, for sure. Huh. Let's see. Well, I do need to head to bed here soon. It was great meeting all of you. It was great meeting you as well, Dragon Christ. I hope to see you again soon. Just as a heads up, we will be back live Wednesday, 8 to 11 Central Time once again. And then Saturday, we will have our giveaway stream. So make sure you at least stop by and just leave a comment on Saturday. But if you are so inclined, definitely come back Wednesday and even Friday, because we may have a special stream then as well. But it was great meeting you, and I hope you have a great night. I need a good search topic. Oh, Junior's account. Just to give you the rundown on what we are doing tonight, since you just got here not too long ago. This week we are working on primarily diseases and curses. So if you have any ideas for a disease or a curse, feel free to drop it in the chat. Alternatively, I am also working on converting all my info into OneNote. So I am building a character questionnaire. So if you can think of any random questions that you might ask someone to get to know them, basically, is the way I would think about it. Feel free to drop those. Oh my God. So like, just imagine you're just having a full-on conversation and you look over on your screen and you see the word herpes, and that's it. Well, while herpes is a thing, that also means that there's really no reason to add it to the doc, because there's already predefined rules for how herpes works. But thank you for the suggestion. Oh, I got a curse of moon spiders. We're going full, just going right off the edge. Why not? What are we gonna flesh that out on Saturday? That'll be an interesting one to flesh out, because obviously moon spiders could right, it's twice in a row you've done that to me. Twice in a row that I'm just saying something and I look at the screen and I just have to shut up. Because you said syphilis. Everyone was banging without protection, and now no cell phones? How else do they pass the time? Gonorrhea. Oh no. Here, if you guys are gonna just fucking post STDs in the chat, you can help me pick out my next display. You see I changed locations? Oh, yeah, that's just for today, hopefully. It's because the table didn't come in yesterday, so I wasn't able to set up with the table, and I didn't want to put all the tables back that I had taken down, so I figured I'd just do it here in the office because that was pretty easy to set up. And then, assuming the table is here tomorrow, then I will have the stream back in the studio. Otherwise, it'll be in here on Wednesday. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. That's actually not too bad in here. You know, not as clear. Lighting isn't as good. I definitely should not have looked directly into that light, but alright. We did that. I actually really liked the first Bioshock. I didn't play the other ones, but I really enjoyed the twist in Bioshock. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty solid art piece. That's going on the save list. Yeah, I'll send the one that I'm like pretty much sold on buying next. I think I've posted it before, but I'm looking for other ideas because even if I get that one this time, I'm gonna need others next time. Oh, that's cool. That's fucking cool. Okay. This is the one I'm probably gonna get tomorrow. But we will see. I just really like the coloring on this one. Not really related to anything specific, but it just looks so good. Now keep in mind, if you guys, while you're looking, if you win the top tier prize, you can actually order a disc plate, or rather, I will buy you a disc plate and either send it to you or put it on the community wall. But if you see one that you like for yourself, that's a giveaway. Yeah. You're on the Discord, right, Junior? I mean, fuck it. I'll just read it off for you. Why not? I'll read off the giveaway doc for you, Junior. That way you don't have to look it up yourself. So make this text a little bit larger so I can read it. So the way that the giveaway is going to work is we'll start the stream at 8 o'clock like we normally do on a Saturday and just do the deep dive. At the end of the first hour, I'll keep a list, or I'll find an app, or I'll find some way to track it. Anyone who leaves a comment that is a follower of the stream will be entered in for a chance to win the giveaway. So at the end of the first hour, so at 9 o'clock, I will spin a wheel or draw a name or do something random in order to decide who wins the first hour prize. And each hour, the prize options get better. So hour 1, you have the option of any size magnet from my merch store, any 2 stickers, or a mug from the merch store. I don't really talk about it much because I don't like to plug things too much that are outside of like the topic range, or aren't D&D related. But I do actually self-publish journals that are they're they're meant to be like goal setting journals. Um, so like if you wanted to set goals for your day or your week or your month, you can do that, or you can use them for reflecting on your accomplishments. So I have like probably 10 of those now. So the first place prize can also order any of those journals. Or if they don't want either of those options, they can take a $10 Amazon gift card. So that's the lowest tier prize. Hour 2, so at 10 o'clock, I'll draw again. And then the winner of the second drawing can choose any combination, so any 2 options from the first hour prizes. So they could do like 2 journals and a magnet, 2 stickers and a mug, right? Like you get the idea. You can combine any of those 2 options. They can pick any single item from the merch store. So if they wanted like the hoodie or the beanie or anything like that, they could go that route. Or instead, they could do a $20 Amazon gift card. And then finally at 11 o'clock, when we start the last hour, the grand prize winner can pick any 2 options from the tier 1 or any 1 option from the tier 2 prizes. So that's kind of the worst option, just to keep the pricing from going crazy. They can choose any 1 physical source book, 1 official source book for D&D 5e, as long as it's below $45, because that's my cutoff. And then, or they can order any medium-sized disc plate of their choice, excluding like the limited or special editions, because those are like 3-4 times the price of a normal one. And then they have the option to either have me order it and ship it to them. In your case, I would just deliver it to you because you literally are, you're close to me. But either way, you can have it for yourself is the point. Or alternatively, if you want to pick one to go on the collective wall, I will order whichever disc plate you pick and put it on the wall with the rest of the disc plates. So I'm gonna win. I want this one. You pick that fast. Oh, and then I guess there's one. I wouldn't call 5 hours away close. Well, I'm willing to make the draft for you. And then I guess the last point would be that, let's say that you somehow win the hour 1 prize. You can't win multiple prizes because that would be very lame. So if you win in hour 1, you are still qualified to win in hour 3 or hour 2. But if you win multiple times, you're just going to get the best option. Meaning that if you won in hour 1 and then we spin in hour 3 and you win in hour 3, then I'm just going to give you the choice from the top 3 options, and I'm going to re-roll for the tier 1 option. So that way, if you were the lucky dude who won twice, you're going to get the best choice. But I want, the whole point of having 3 giveaways is to have 3 different winners. Men's a Monkey, welcome to the chat. You're a rare sight. Leaving whatever emote. You should get some sound dampening foam on those walls. I would if I was going to be in here for more than one stream. The only reason I'm in the office today is because I did not receive the table yesterday. But I already have some sound dampening stuff in the garage / studio. So yeah, I can kind of hear myself, the little bit of echo. So it's a small, tight space, but it'll do for one stream. Junior's account says studio. I mean, it is basically a studio at this point. Especially because later this week I'm literally going to have 4 cameras running in there at the same time. So that will be interesting. Trying to get 4 cameras going. Well, I mean, it's less that it's fancy. It's probably not going to be the fanciest setup, but we're going to need the 4 cameras if we're going to be able to record everyone for the D&D session on Friday. To that point, I would, I know I said this last time. Some of you are here, some of you weren't. If you are so inclined, please tune in on Friday, because we will be running a one-shot. I expect to go live around 9 o'clock. That is going to be variable. Just depending on when I get everyone in and we have everything set up. Because it's going to be much more... there's going to be a lot more going on in terms of the amount of technology we're going to need set up. Curse every 4K steps, you sprain your ankle. That was left by Moon Spiders. So every 4,000 steps you break your ankle. Less than a mile? That's going to definitely depend on how big your steps are. Everyone fat or something? Could be. Or they could just be magically cursed. No, it's more than a mile. The average steps in a mile is 2K steps. So it's just about 2 miles. Curse should be limited to zone. Well, we'll flesh out how the curse works on Saturday. Because I think Men's Monkey was actually the one who helped recommend the entity I'm thinking I would use for a curse like that. That was in the first or second stream. Is curse known worldwide? It's going to be on an individual basis, right? Because, not every curse is going to work the same way. The concept of curses are pretty well known, I would say. Or at least rumors of curses, People know what a curse is, generically. I would imagine in the case of this specific curse, no, probably not. It doesn't have a lot of appeal if people know already that you can catch it. It has to be kind of unique. So like a small subset of people. Or like what you can always do is you can confine it to a place, right? So kind of to your point, leaving it to a zone. Yes. Regardless, it's always only going to be the DM. Well, not regardless. In most cases, it's only going to be the DM because otherwise there's no surprise to it. So unless the character at the start of your campaign is afflicted with it or has a particular reason to know about it, usually they wouldn't. Now, they might be able to roll for it, but it's just too specific of a topic to, make it a point to have a conversation about unnecessarily. But I could see like a town of people who have this problem. So they have to find ways to circumvent walking That would be interesting. I'll make a note of that. That's exactly why you're here. You're absolutely right. That's the whole point, right? Is we bounce ideas off of each other directly and indirectly. Alright, let me go to Twitch real quick and see who we're going to raid tonight, because it is getting nice, actually. Almost about that time. And no one's online. Not even Dungeon Master Symposium is on. I guess it is a Monday. I don't think he normally streams on Monday. Okay, well then let me go ahead and look through the Ray Jr.'s account. Welcome to the chat, Wandigi. On DQ, I'll probably end up sending you this version of the document. Not this, the questionnaire, just so you have something to work with. But this is not going to be the finished one. But I got about 44 questions on there so far. Okay. Junior's account, you going live where I can raid you? No. Let's see. Just died to a bear. That happens, man. I've died to a bear or two. How is this Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, well I guess this is who we'll do. Give them a nice little surprise, why not? Okay, and it is officially that time. So I am going to mix it up and I'm going to go ahead and raid someone new today. If anyone ends up staying around, let me know how their stream is. I'll say hello and make my introduction, but I gotta go to bed here in a minute. I've got work first thing in the morning. So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all are the best. We will be back live Wednesday, hopefully in the studio, hopefully with the table. We'll be back again after that Friday with a special stream, our first ever actual D&D session, and then we will be back Saturday for our deep dive. But yeah, as always, thanks again. You guys have a great night. I am sending you to Darling Creep Show. So make sure to say hello, share some love, and you guys have a great night. Peace out, guys. change the name.